Hi, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. This is Helen with ADU1. We are a division of Retrofit 1 and Repipe 1 Restoration. And we also have our other new division, Balcony 1. So thank you for joining us today for our ADU webinars and the new series that we've been doing, the City Spotlights. Today we will be going over the ADU rules for Garden Grove. I'm just going to go over them as they are on the website, so that way when you revisit those pages and those rules, it's exactly the same and nothing's different or summarized or anything like that. I'll just verbally do that. So again, thank you for joining us. There is a chat on the right if you're on YouTube that you can ask questions at any time, and I'll get into them, or I'll be able to see them after I stop sharing the screen. I'm going to help explain Garden Grove's rules for single family homes and multifamily homes, conversions and new construction, to just help you have a clearer understanding of Garden Grove specific requirements, how many units you can do, and what are the guidelines and restrictions depending on where they are and the size. So again, feel free to ask any questions at any time. And at the end, I'll put our contact information in case there's something specific that you still want to ask, or you would like to discuss your property. So, all right, I'm going to begin. Let's see. Let's start with single family homes. Let's do down to the basics. Here we go. Hopefully you can see the tab that I am sharing. I wonder if I can see how it looks. Okay, cool. Nice. So we're going to begin with single family conversions in Garden Grove and what the rules here are. So let's see. I'm not sure if you have watched my other videos. If not, you should go check them out because they kind of explain all of the basics, your basic rules for single family homes and multifamily, how many you can do, setbacks and stuff like that. But I've done so many of those. So that's why we've been doing city spotlights now. Well, we just started. So this is our second one. Last week was Long Beach, and this week is Garden Grove. So if I don't have too many specifics regarding general rules, feel free to check my other videos. So, for single family homes, you are only permitted to do one ADU. That's, generally speaking, it can be attached or detached. And there is the possibility of doing two ADUs, but one of them is called a junior ADU, which I'll also slightly explain. But this page right here, so this can be found if you just Google Garden Grove accessory dwelling units. You can go to their city's website, and it'll have a breakdown too of several languages, which is really nice, and the breakdown of single family home versus multifamily, conversions versus new construction. So we are starting right now with single family homes conversion. So a conversion, of course, is something using existing space, typically a garage, and converting that garage into an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. Generally speaking, the ADU has to have its own independent living facilities, like a bathroom and a kitchen with an exterior entrance. So Garden Grove, there's no additional parking required for the ADU. And if you are using a garage or a carport, state law says that you do not have to replace the parking either. Minimum unit size must comply with the California Residential Code. So far for ADUs, the minimum has been about 150 square feet. However, some cities require 220, but most likely this is going to be 150 square feet also for a minimum. But the typical or standard two-car garage is usually at least 300 square feet. If it is larger, like if you have an entry door for your garage side by side with the garage door, then you may be looking at 350 square feet upwards to 500 that we've seen if it is deeper, than your typical 18 to 20 feet in depth. So again, two-car garages, what we've seen, you're looking at 300 to 500 square feet. If you have a single car garage, they could be anywhere from, I would say, 180 square feet to 250, something like that, if it's a 10 by 18 or up. So these, you don't have to worry about this, the building code requirements, because obviously as engineers and builders, we are going to include all of this stuff into the ADU, the insulation, the heating, the plumbing, electrical, so forth. Fire sprinklers. Most cities will not require you to do fire sprinklers. They're usually only required if the main home or building has them in the units. So most likely you won't have to worry about the fire sprinklers. Let's see, separate utilities. Many cities are requiring that your ADU is served by separate utilities like water, gas, and electric. And we help with the connections for these, unless, of course, the utility company has to come and do those connections. Your ADU will have a separate address. And let's see, you don't really have to worry about this. There's no owner occupancy requirement for the ADU. So if you're converting your garage and you want to turn your property into a rental, you can rent both the regular dwelling and the ADU separately, and the owner does not have to live there. And these are some samples here. It's kind of cute. They have these diagrams that are just pretty helpful. So at least you can see if your home looks like this and can apply. So these are, existing space converted to an ADU. This was an existing garage converted to an ADU. And then this was a conversion based on a detached garage that can also be converted. So you can convert attached space or detached space as is, and you normally do not have to worry about setbacks. If it's a legal structure, even if it's on the property line, normally they will not require you to change that. You can just convert it as is, especially if you're just doing one dwelling. Multifamily buildings, on the other hand, at least in LA, sometimes we get flagged. We can get into that more later, but just to throw it out there, in LA, if you're doing a detached carport conversion, sometimes they want you to conform to setbacks if you're doing 2 units because of now occupancy levels. But in most cases, if you're converting a structure as is to 1 unit, you don't have to worry about setbacks. So that is all for the conversion rules for Garden Grove. Let me now switch to, let me see. Let's switch to new construction for single family homes. So new construction, as it sounds, is going to be, new ground up construction. You're not converting any space. So the minimums and maximums here. Luckily, you don't have to worry about lot size requirements for the ADUs. That is something that they eliminated when they updated these rules and the law for the state last year. Your maximum size, if you're building ground up construction, 850 if it's a studio or 1 bedroom, but 2 or more bedrooms, up to 1,200 square feet. So the something that I either skipped or it did not say on the last one, if you are doing a conversion for an attached ADU, which is what we were just explaining, your maximum, you are limited to 50% of the main home. So let's say you have a 1,000 square foot house with an attached garage. You can only do up to 500 square feet. If you have a 1,200 square foot house, you can only do 600 square feet. But again, normally an attached garage, if it's a double, is the max I've seen is 500. But if you have a 3-car garage or more and you're over 500 square feet, you are limited to 50% of your main house square footage. But for new construction, you are maxed out at 1,200 square feet. So this is interesting, kind of related to what I was saying. For new construction, the minimum is 220 in this case, so 220 square feet, and you cannot cram a 2-bedroom in anything less. In this case, the minimum for a 2-bedroom has to be 700 square feet. I actually haven't seen minimums for bedroom count until now. Maybe other cities have it, but in LA, I mean, we fit per the owner's request, 2 bedrooms in 500 or 600 square feet is just going to be smaller sizes everywhere in communal space. But in Garden Grove, they are limiting you, which is nice anyways. They want the units to be comfortable, so that's good. Height. For new construction, you're limited to 1 story, 16 feet. This 16 feet requirement is, floating around the state, and it's pretty ambiguous because some cities say 16 feet from grade to the roof. Some are saying the entire structure can only be 16 feet. So it really depends on your city. In this case, they made it clear 1 story is 16 feet. So there's no tricks that we can do for you to kind of engineer a couple feet below grade or anything like that. You're limited to 1 story. Parking. For new construction, 1 space. However, again, we have yet to see this because if your property is located within a half-mile walking distance to public transit, like a bus stop, you do not have to add any parking or replace. Your setbacks. The general rule across every single city, that because the state reduced this in order to increase the amount of ADUs that cities are doing, 4 foot side and rear basically is the one you have to worry about. If you are able to do it in the front, which I rarely see, in this case you have a 20-foot setback, and most cities say it starts where the property line starts. Some say it can start a little above that, like middle of sidewalk or the parkway. Normally, it's where your property line starts, 20 feet, and then you can do one. So very rarely do we see any homes that would allow this, but every now and then we do. 6 feet away must be between the ADU and any structure on the property. So if you have in this case, we're talking about houses. So if you have a house and a yard, you consider yourself building 6 feet away from the main home and 4 feet away, of course, from the rear property line. So you automatically lose 10 feet from building from the main building to the back, and of course 4 and 4, 8 feet from the sides. So this is something some cities have differences on. This is a specific one for Garden Grove. If your ADU, and I'll just show you kind of this little diagram here. If you are building an ADU in the back like this, and if you see here, here's your main home. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but here's the main house in the front. There's a detached garage there. It is, of course, imagine 6 feet away from the existing garage and minimum 6 feet away from the house. What they additionally require, I forgot where it is. If your ADU is over 800 square feet, then they require a rear yard open space size. You have to have 1,000 square feet of open space in the rear 20% of your lot. And again, that's only if your ADU, the proposed ADU, is over 800 square feet. Let me just confirm that. Yes, here it is. If your ADU is greater than 800 square feet, you have to not only follow the 50% lot coverage, which I'll also explain, but there must be 1,000 square feet of open space in the 20% rear yard setback area. So we just calculated one the other day, but let's say this is your lot, the rear 20% of it, so 20% of whatever your lot size is going to be your rear lot area. There has to be a minimum of 1,000 square feet open space. At first, this seemed a little intimidating and, wondering, will this even work? But the one that I recently calculated, the owner was still able to do 1,200 square feet. There was plenty of space to equate to 1,000 square feet and still hit your 50% lot coverage. So to my understanding, as long as the house and the ADU and the other structures are less than 50% of the total lot size, you're fine. And so far, I've usually found that that's the case. You're okay. But we will check these specific details for you to make sure we are not proposing a size that isn't going to be feasible with these lot coverages. So here are just some examples. of here's a detached ADU following this rear yard setback of the 1,000 square feet of open space. And here's an attached ADU. However, this is new construction because single family homes are allowed to build new construction and attach it to the house. However, again, you are capped at 50% of the house's size. And this again is following that rear open space requirement. Let's see, you'll also have a separate address. And again, for ADUs, there are no owner occupancy requirements. So that's all for the single family homes, conversions, new construction, open lot, and so forth. So now I will check if there's any questions. Nothing yet. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to pop it in to the chat. But I'm going to share my screen again so we can get into multifamily properties. Or you know what, how about real quick, I will just describe the junior ADUs. I already closed the screen and it said the basics. Junior ADUs do have owner occupancy requirements. So let's say you wanted to do one of those types that we just went over. I believe if you have a junior ADU, it has to be part of your house, internal conversion. So yes, you can use an attached garage. It cannot be detached from the house. It can't be new construction. It has to be from the existing main structure, and you are capped at 500 square feet. So you can do a junior ADU, maximum 500 square feet, and it has to be an internal conversion of your house. And then I believe for Garden Grove, if you have a junior ADU and you want to do an ADU, you're capped at 800 square feet for that ADU. And the owner occupancy requirements, the owner has to live in either the single family residence or the junior ADU if you have a junior ADU. We have a question. Yes, exactly. Can I have two ADUs in a single family home, one in the converted garage and one above the garage? So it looks like from what we were reading, no, you cannot, because new construction was capped at 1 story, 16 feet. So for Garden Grove, Ramon is asking, I don't know if anyone else can see his question, but he said, can I have two ADUs in a single family home? Convert my garage. In this case, that would be the junior ADU. And he's asking if he can put one above the garage. But according to Garden Grove's rules, their 16 feet for new construction is limited to 1 story. So you would not be able to do the second story. And I'll recheck too, just in case, but I'm pretty sure that's what the ordinance just said. So if you wanted to do two, you could convert your garage to the junior ADU, and then if you still have space to either attach a new ADU or build on the lot, you could do that up to 800 square feet in addition to your garage conversion as the junior ADU, and you have to live in either the junior ADU or your house. So, okay, let me share screen again. And we will go into multifamily conversions. So just like all of the general rules that my other videos show, for multifamily dwellings, unlike single family homes, you can do up to 25% of your existing number of units. So if you have an 8-unit building, you can do 2 attached ADUs conversions. If you have a duplex up to 7 units, you can do 1 because it's rounded down. If you have any higher than, it'll just multiply it by 25% and round down, and you can do that many for attached ADUs. And attached for multifamily properties is specifically only conversions. You cannot do new construction and attach it to your multifamily buildings. The state does not allow you to really change or manipulate the existing structure of your multifamily building. You can only convert the existing structure or do detached units. You can't change the footprint of your multifamily building. Parking, same rules. Typically, really no parking is ever required unless you're in a super rural area and you are not within a half mile of a bus stop. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about parking. Or if you are subject to your coastal commission, they may interfere and actually override this. I don't know if they're allowed. They say they are. So that's, and I understand it too. So we wouldn't really fight that. I don't think it would be worth it. But they may, coastal areas, some of them are requiring you to not remove parking. So again, building code requirements, you would of course have to have plumbing, electrical, ventilation, insulation, heating, and stuff like that into the unit, obviously. And we would take care of all of that for you, starting from the plans to the full construction. Has to have its own utilities. We will assist with all of the connections. But if you have to do, upgrades or anything, that will go through, your electrician or the utility company. You are not required to live on the property. So this is showing you some converted space in a multifamily community that it has, it just has non-habitable space. So in this case, it could be a garage, a storage room, a rec room, tuck under parking, what else? An attic or a basement, as long as it has sufficient ceiling height, minimum 7.5 feet for dwelling units. You can convert, again, up to 25% conversion. So it has to already be existing uninhabited space. If we get a lot of questions for splitting, larger units, those are unit subdivisions. They're an entirely separate path. That would now be up to your zoning, your density rules, parking rules, and so forth. But when it comes to ADUs, it has to be uninhabited conversions for that 25% rule. And normally, it doesn't say the sizes here, but I'm assuming they're going to say the same ones, 220 to 1200. Some cities don't have a maximum for the conversions if it already exists. I know LA is one of them that doesn't, although we're about to try. I think somebody has like a 3,000 square foot just storage area. We're about to try to see if they will allow it. According to their ordinance, they do. But most cities cap you at 1,200. Even for conversions, some at 1,000. So we will see here what they say. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't say sizing. So, okay, now we will get into multifamily detached, which has its own rules. So multifamily, new construction, and the new construction, though, I guess they're not really sharing because you can also convert detached space as well. So if your multifamily building has detached garages, carports, or storage, you can convert those also, but they would be under this page's rules. So you can do up to 2 detached ADUs. This is statewide. All multifamily properties can do up to 2 detached ADUs, whether you are converting existing detached structures or building new construction. If I see that they make you pick either or configuration, I'll let you know. But some cities do not allow you to do both. They don't want you to do the 25% rule for attached and detached. Some cities don't care and they will let you do both. So in this case, you're capped at 1,200 square feet for a detached ADU. And I see here it's actually using the 220 minimum. So 220 is your minimum, 1,200 is your max. Those are really the numbers to consider. 1 story, 16 feet, just like for single family homes. So again, this confirms, I know this one's for multifamily properties, but it said the same for single family. So you cannot build on top. It has to be 1 story. Same rules for parking. If you're within a half-mile walking distance of public transit, no parking required. Setback rules, just think of 4 feet side and rear with the 6-foot building separation. So just like for single family homes, you lose 10 feet from the building to the rear property line and 8 feet total for the 2 sides. And that will be your building space. Of course, respecting the 50% lot coverage for both single family and multifamily if your ADU is greater than 800 square feet. Let's see, separate utilities, separate address still applies here. The owner is not required to live on the property. Mm-mm. This one, Garden Grove, is saying that if there was a required recreation space for the multifamily property, it has to be maintained. And then this is showing you some examples of multifamily property. It is minimum 6 feet away from the building, 4 feet away from side and rear minimum, and you are building the new detached ADUs. Something to think about, which this one did not say, but most cities will allow you, you can always attach the detached ADUs. So you can basically build a duplex. They don't have to be separated from each other. They just have to be separate from the main building, but you can put them together if needed. So I believe that is all for Garden Grove's rules. It pretty much lines up with the state's ordinance, except they do have that specific for if your ADU is larger than 800 square feet, you have that rear space requirement and the 50% lot coverage. Some cities do say that. That was a specific one for Garden Grove. But again, we will help you with all of that. We'll do the calculations to make sure that the size of your ADU is permitted and that all lot coverage requirements or open space requirements are being followed. We take care, or we provide the services from pretty much A to Z, from your engineering and architectural design. We handle all of your plans, the design. We work with you to make sure that the layout and design you like and they're approved by you before we submit to the city. We handle permit submission. And all of that plan check process with the city. And then, of course, we do the full construction, and our prices include all of the materials, finishes, flooring, windows, doors, lighting, cabinets, kitchens, bathrooms, and so forth. The only items we usually do not include are city fees, stuff that goes to the city, permit fees, stuff like that. But of course, we can always work that in if you would rather have this all-inclusive bid so you don't have to worry about any additional fees. We're really flexible, and we can work with you on getting you a package that you like. We work with a couple of lenders too if you need financing. So we really try to make it as smooth and easy as possible and help you maximize your rent if that's what you are looking for, whether it's single family home or multifamily. So, okay, if there are no other questions, that is about it for today. I don't know if we're going to be doing one next week. As it is a holiday, I might do a small one on Wednesday. We'll see, unless I'm getting ready to eat. So if I don't see you guys next week, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful holiday and Thanksgiving. Stay safe, and please contact us. I'll just verbally say our number is 866 new ADU1. 866 new ADU1, or call our office 818-996-6245, 818-996-6245. That's our direct line. Or you can email me, Helen, Helen, at ADU-1. I'll actually type this one in so nobody forgets the dash. Helen at ADU-1.com. I don't know if it let me type that in. Actually, it's making me do a CAPTCHA right now, and I don't really want to. So it's Helen at ADU-1.com. So, all right. Thank you guys. Happy holidays. And I will see you either next week or the week after. If you have any city spotlight requests, please email me, and I will, if that city has its own ordinance and we serve that area, I will do a city spotlight for that area. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays. Bye.